This video is the introduction to the United Monarchy, which is a Bible study I'm about to start both in person and here on YouTube, talking about mostly King David. Now, King David is super interesting to the world. He has captured the public imagination, especially that of artists and authors. There are great statues and works of art about King David, and a ton of the Bible itself is actually about King David. In fact, if you include the Psalms, which are attributed to King David, there is more material in the Bible about David than any other person in the Bible, including Moses and Jesus. That's astounding. We have more information on David's life because of the nature of the material on David in the Bible. It's more historical than a relaying of his teachings, like a gospel would do about Jesus. He's a very different kind of figure who is covered by biblical writers in a very different way. But when we look at the United Monarchy, we're not just talking about David. We're also going to talk about Samuel and Saul, who come before David in the story, trying to understand David without understanding Samuel and Saul is kind of like trying to read the New Testament when you haven't looked at the Hebrew scriptures before. And then after we're done talking about Samuel and Saul and David himself, we move on to Solomon, David's son, and the king who followed him in the United Monarchy. Trying to understand the United Monarchy or the story of David without understanding about his son Solomon is like trying to understand Jesus without understanding the church. So we're going to discuss all of those figures: Samuel, Saul, David, and Solomon, the scholarship behind them as it is to date. We're going to look at this entire time period of Israelite and Judean history, which are united for a time. So we'll be using the timeline I've developed to teach Bible study to look at this long period of time. We're going to look at the United Monarchy as a crucial period of history for understanding what is going on in the Bible as a whole. And as we go into Advent, it's especially advantageous to stop and think about who David was and what he means, because the symbols of King David ring out very loudly in the Christmas story. I hope you enjoy the United Monarchy, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes.